You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the October 23rd, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
We're going to call the LaPorte County Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 at 4 p.m. to order. If everybody please stand for the pledge. Tom?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mary Jane.
Adam Karonka,
Present.
Michael Rosenbaum, Scott Cooley,
Here.
Tom Fath,
Present.
Mark Parkman,
Here.
Rich Merzinski, Jennifer Farley.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
I don't believe you called my name.
Oh, Randy Novak.
Present. Thank
I
you.
thought he was right at the top.
I'm like, anyway. Approval of the agenda for tonight?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions? Additions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Public comment. Public comment is now open. Anybody from the public would like to speak?
Jerry Jackson for Kingsbury Utilities. Just wanted to comment that on the rail project along Hupp Road, we haven't received any plans yet for the water and sewer relocation, and we're just concerned we don't want to hold up the project, reviewing plans and all that. We were hoping they could get done up front before the project gets to that point. The other comment I had is that they've paved Hupp Road, or I paved First Road rather, from Hupp down to the entrance of Kingsbury Utilities, and was a joint effort by the property owners, and it's a really nice job. So if you get a chance, take a look.
I bet that is nice. Thank you. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Public comments now closed. Approval of the minutes for tonight?
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Communications?
Communications for the month of between September and October, excuse me, are as follows. Auditor's office regarding an unpaid KIP invoice, auditor's office to request the October's treasurer's report, auditor's office to prepare the automated October 2024 POs, auditor's office to pick up the mail sorted and filed, Herald Argus regarding the legal ad for claims publication, distributed the October 24 agenda to the media, Paxton Media invoice, also we got sender's invoice, transmitted docs for posting on the web, distributed draft agenda for review and comment, and we received the assessor quarterly tax appeal report, which was forwarded to sender and to MCR, and the 2025 spending plans were prepared by sender. End of communications.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report is as follows. US 421, the balance after the claims today, $339,109. US 421, allocation area number 2, balance is 0. KIDC TIF, $63,106. 39 North TIF, $99,721. End of Treasurer's report.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on to the claims. KIDC, you got MCR Partners and Herald Dispatch for a total of $3,027.58.
Motion to approve.
Motion is second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Next one is 421 TIF. It's got MCR Partners, Guy DiMartino and NIPSCO for a total of $3,700.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any questions on those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Just out of curiosity, that's the NIPSCO for that substation still?
Correct. We advertised, because I didn't have the bill, I just got it today. It was $74.27.
It's advertised high?
So we just advertised high, so the $74.27 will be paid.
I wondered how it was a perfect 200. I thought
Yeah.
that was strange.
That's why I kind of questioned it. Next one is 39 North MCR Partners for $1,000.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion
Second the motion.
and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The claims there was totaled $7,727.58. Moving on, KIP easement survey project, Charles Hendricks and Associates. This is for the easements, for $3,775.
And this will be paid out of ready funds.
Is this the total? This is just a portion of what he's doing out there? Okay.
Make a motion.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Moving on to old business, 421 I-94, Matt Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a team workshop a little bit earlier where I'd asked that the commissioners enable Guy to continue communications regarding the transfer of the utilities. There's a couple other items that need to be buttoned up. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. I mean, the ultimate goal is to get everything done and then transfer it over to Michigan City. So we're in the process. Just want to make sure everybody's aware of that and make sure that our attorney is able to communicate back and forth and so we can get it done.
Is there a motion to authorize our attorney
I
to?
would make that.
Second motion.
Markman, second by Mr. Fath. Any other questions or comments on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Next.
Quick update on our $75,000. They're not quite through with their issues with the IDEM as they continue to go back and forth, and they don't have any building permits either. So we're still waiting for them to satisfy their issues with IDEM. Until they do, we won't be paid and they won't get a building permit. So that's what
But he is working to try and remedy all those.
They are absolutely working because they can't build anything and they purportedly have tenants and leases and all these things pending, and they're trying to figure out the best pathway
Great.
to satisfy the requirements of IDEM at this time. So
Right.
We're
Thank you.
basically just trying to be good partners in this part. It has nothing to do with IDEM.
Turn your mic.
correct, yeah, this is, they need to do it the right way. So,
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. Anything else but that one?
no, sir.
Moving on to KIP.
KAP, I'd like to thank Mr. Jackson for coming by. I spoke with Zach yesterday. They do want to see design drawings for the crossing that goes into Markman's property, but as the commission knows that we don't own or control that property. When I say we, I meant the Redevelopment Commission. So therefore we can't make any improvements on that. We've made an offer to purchase that went out this week for the property based on the previous appraisals. I'm hoping to hear back from the owner and to see if they're amenable to the price that was offered, and if not, to get a better understanding on what they're looking at to do this. I've assured Zach that we would provide to Kingsbury Utility the drawings so that they understand what the crossing looks like. And in the spirit of cooperation, the Kingsbury Utility has also agreed to provide the county not only the actual recorded easements of where their utility lines are, but also the as-built of their public improvements that have been made, so that we do not run into this in the future. So that we do know definitively where the utilities are and aren't, and which ones are on and are off. Yes.
Mr. Jackson used the term relocate, but you're talking about just a crossing. So are we actually moving it, or are we just protecting it?
There's some issues that needed to be addressed pursuant to Kingsbury about crossing the utilities and how that would work. So I directed our agent JBC Rail to make sure that whatever they're going to do has been approved and agreed to by the utility owner, which just makes a lot of sense. We don't have the info yet. As soon as we do, we'll make sure they have it. And the project won't start. We won't authorize that until they're moving forward with it.
Thanks.
Great. Anything else with that one?
No, sir.
Moving on to 39 North.
39 North, we're shutting her down. So I did have a nice conversation about a legacy project for the senior living center with Mr. Ed Arnold, and he's moving along. He was there to get permits to move forward on the project, so that's a good thing.
I just want to make one comment about Mr. Arnold's project, and it's glad to see that it's moving forward, but there seems to be some people out there that don't understand that from when he first came and applied, that there's been, I think, a year's worth of talks with the water system, and he's installing redundant pumps. He's not, but the developer is.
Yes.
And redundant fire pumps out there and everything else. So
Correct.
it's not what it was at the beginning. And the planning commit, the redevelopment commission is not the one that authorized them, gave them to go ahead to start we have nothing to do with it.
No, it's not a redevelopment project. We're just assisting on some of the minor infrastructure costs and utilizing the new tax increment in that district to do so. But this is now a City of LaPorte project. We didn't change rules, or they didn't change rules. They're still required to have the redundant fire protection because of the nature of the operation, as well as their insurance provider is probably looking for a pretty good explanation of how they're going to manage that.
And they were able to satisfy the city of LaPorte and
The state fire marshal and the city of LaPorte and their insurance company. So
correct.
I don't know who else you're looking to satisfy at that juncture.
Right.
I mean, having been on the Board of Zoning Appeals at the time that the second wave or the second version of this proposal was brought forward, it came across as being the fact of just not having enough water for fire protection in terms of what's provided by hydrant.
Right.
And then they didn't have the retention ponds that were able to size adequately to be able to use those water sources for any kind of fire protection, is where it came into being an issue when it was still county. Now that it's annexed into the city and the city's choosing to invest in the water is what helps to make this project.
The water's helping, and they're putting a redundant system in.
Mm-hmm.
So they were going to just initially run off the pond. Now they're running off the pond and the hydrant system that's there until the city gets all the improvements.
So it's a good example of some cooperation coming together. We're good to make a project work.
Right.
Great.
Got it.
So there will be a balance in the 39 North Fund that will likely be utilized to create the next area to do the study between the edge of city and then probably 20 and maybe a little bit further, depending on how big the commission thinks they want to go. I mean, there's a lot.
Way to New Buffalo.
We could do that. I mean, I'd like to annex some property in New Buffalo,
Sure,
but
that'll make-
I don't think
sure that'll
we
make
could get
sense.
that tax revenue. It'd be great, but I don't think that's going to work. But we'll have to take a look.
It would
at
be
how
nice
far.
to get it out to 20 because I know there's a lot of
Yeah,
needs out there.
I think we would
from some of the
go to
people.
where the utilities are out to 20 at a minimum, and then
Definitely.
probably take a pretty hard look at the capacity of those utilities and how we can work from both ends
Yep.
to get to the middle. Just as a side note, at 20, we're assisting a development that's trying to redo a mobile home park. At that location, there was one now. I noticed that one of the commissioners' ears perked up a little bit. I used as the model for this a little bit. The commissioner's project over there that we already have off of 421 is what we would like to see happen with that. The request will be for a loan from the state of Indiana through a program that's competitive, and it's for utility work. And we were approached by this developer about it, and they're interested in doing this manufactured home park and redoing and removing what was out there and then connecting to water and sewer. So we're all in favor of that. The difference is a interest rate. This is not a debt of the county or any entity. It would be the debt of the developer.
Thank you, Matt. Mm-hmm. Moving on to 3594.
Well, as the commission's aware, we're the kind of foregone due to timing. You know, it's hard to capture a couple of hotel deals, so the council will be using that money for other things. There's an interest to do development in and along Serenity Springs. We had a meeting with them today. Some interesting ideas about hotels and restaurants along that area. There was a request made of us as the Redevelopment Commission to approach NDOT about surplus property, and there's about a 5-acre piece in between, you know, the curve when you're coming in off of 94 and you're heading into 35. Pretty substantial chunk. And in any case, I reached out to IDEM or NDOT rather, and we're gonna just request it. I think the commissioners might remember when we went through this process in Michigan City, or the property adjacent to Michigan City, right off of 421 and 400. There was a roadway, and anyway, we made a request, and it was deemed to be surplus, and we were able to work through that. This would be a similar situation, except if we would be using that property for private use, there's an extra step we'd have to go through, and then we would rely on our attorney here to go through property disposition through redevelopment, meaning we just have to bid it out. We'll have a value, we'll have a project design, and we would bid it out if we can get our hands on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Thank you. New business, consideration of the 2025 TIF spending plan. Carl Sender.
I'll be playing the role of Carl Sender for the purposes of the spending plan today.
Okay.
So do I look smarter? I hope so.
We don't have to pay more, do we?
Well, first line, a couple things about the spending plan that's new. Indiana Code 36714-12.7 now requires, not that redevelopment commissions didn't do this anyway, an idea of a spending plan or budget, which is typically what we would do. The only thing different this year is this will be presented to the council, subject to the redevelopment commission's approval or changing of it. The revenue streams are based on previous year's revenue and projected new increment for the project. This will be the last year for 39 North. Any new growth from the city's creation of their redevelopment area will be collected by them. So there is going to actually be a release of some property tax dollars to the overlapping taxing districts. The majority of the budget takes care of the bond issue. We have a lot of flexibility in what we call professional expenses that can include anything from studies to professional services to legal to engineering. We have also dedicated some funds for project work. That doesn't mean that the commission can't amend the budget at any time if we have a different project that comes about and or there's a different revenue stream. So I would like to entertain any comments that commissioners might have regarding the spending plan.
Everybody say it's attached to our package. Pardon?
Last page,
Yeah.
last page.
Yeah.
And please keep in mind that this is a spending plan. So the Redevelopment Commission doesn't try to spend all the money just because it's in a line item. We don't have to. It stays in it doesn't get rolled back into any general fund. It stays there. So that's why you'll see varying balances of what happened depending on where the projects hit.
And like you said, we can move those numbers around if we need to as
Yes, sir.
the season goes on.
Definitely. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any other questions? Comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any other business?
No, sir.
Microphone?
I will present this to the council at their upcoming meeting.
28?
Yeah, next Monday. Yeah, sure. It's the statute's not very clear. It doesn't say we have to. It's not like a public hearing, like your budget hearings. The council. I will just present this to you, and the recommendation would be, I think the term they use is accept the spending plan. It's not.
Are you already on the agenda?
I believe so. And if I'm not, I could do it under department heads reports.
Or we can
Shoot
amend
an
the
email
agenda.
and we'll make sure it's on there.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. And then we'll satisfy the new requirements of the statute.
I just want to make one comment. Out of KIP, it looks like that one last little piece is the last piece of the tracks. They got the tracks going over the bridge and everything, so it's nice seeing all that rail like ready to go. So, any other comment?
Actually, one quick question, Matt.
Yes.
So when it comes back to KIP,
Yes.
the survey project for
That's the roadway piece.
you're correct. Well, exactly. Well, when obviously the invoice doesn't cover the entire cost of all 5
No.
roads. So
No.
how far along are we?
There, I think our consultant's a little behind on his billing. They're pretty far along on the work. From what they sent us, is they have all of the legals, the parcel numbers, all of the information we're going to need to send to the property owners about conveyance of that and an easement to the county. So he's pretty well wrapped up. Last time I checked, we were waiting for the title work, the title company to verify that, so we're not sending out documents that haven't been verified.
And are we waiting for this before we can do anything with, I believe, off of Third Line Road, that piece of property that's owned by the commissioners?
Well, no, actually, I guess I should have brought that up. We're going to proceed with the phase one. The environmental scientist was out there a couple weeks ago. We walked the property. They were reviewing that. We should receive this before the 25th, which was in our agreement with them. That'll allow Mary Jane to continue with filing for the Brownfield grant, so we can figure out how much and what it's going to look like. I suspect that the phase one is going to tell us you probably need to do a much more detailed phase two, which is logical is what happens. They'll identify areas of concern, RECs, around there. I bet there's quite a few around there, but then we can proceed with the grant request with IDEM, and that it can include further study, as well as the next step is demolition and reclamation. If you guys know, Mary Jane she did it over there where you see the apartments, and that was off of Truesdale and the other mess that was over there, but that's the process. So now that we're going to address it and try and get it done, it'll take a while, but it's in process.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none? Next item on the agenda,
Motion adjourned.
is there a second?
Second motion.
What?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Bacon, bacon.